What's up, everybody? I'm Cindy Goodman, and in today's Daily Fix, it might be a while before you can grab yourself a PS5. Unrelated though, Sony's selling them at a loss, and an ever-elusive piece of Mass Effect DLC. Roll the thing. It's not exactly news that PlayStation 5s are hard to come by, even now, 3 months after release. But I have bad news for you if you were hoping that it was about to get easier. In a briefing that followed Sony's Q3 FY 2020 earnings, transcribed by The Motley Fool, a Sony spokesperson noted the company's hopes to outsell the PS4's second-year sales numbers, which would be over 14.8 million units. But the statement also recognized the global semiconductor shortage, which has inhibited how many consoles can be manufactured. Quote, "However, we have to look at the global shortage of semiconductors. When we try to increase our capacity, we face difficulties because of this global situation." As reported in late January, AMD is anticipating chip shortages through the first half of 2021, caused in part by the lack of semiconductors entering the market. AMD's chips help power PS5, which means this could affect the production of more PlayStation 5s, and that's something that seems to be on Sony's radar as they think about sales goals. And while Sony says it's on track to meet the target of 7.6 million units by March 31st, it also notes it was not able to meet the high level of demand from customers, which it expects to continue into the next fiscal year. This news comes just a few days after Microsoft's head of investor relations, Mike Spencer, revealed a similar scenario for Xbox Series X in an interview with New York Times. Previously, Xbox estimated their next-gen console would begin to have enough supply to meet demand around April of this year. But now it looks like the next-gen console will be in short supply until at least June. Luckily, and I say this with huge, there's not many games out currently that are exclusive to next-gen or take advantage of the new tech in a way that you're really missing out. But I get it. I wish everyone who wanted a next-gen console could just go out and grab one. Back to PS5 for a second, though. According to that same Q3 FY 2020 earnings, as reported by Polygon, Sony is selling PS5s at a loss in order to offer the console at a strategic price point, aka they're selling the console for less than it actually costs to produce one. This isn't super uncommon though. In a lot of cases, especially at launch, consoles are sold at a loss and companies make up the difference by selling games and peripherals at a profit. After all, Sony does get a cut of every game sold on its platform. Last February, Bloomberg reported that the manufacturing costs of a PS5 were about $450, and if that were true, it would mean that Sony just barely breaks even for the disc version, which retails at $499, and they'd be losing money on the digital version, which retails at $399. In that same earnings briefing, Sony cites its revenue from both PS4 and PS5 games, as well as noting that profit margins on the outgoing PS4 more than make up for the shortfall. So, if you were worried for Sony's financials, I'm here to report that they're doing just fine. Mass Effect Legendary Edition is coming, and aside from multiplayer, it'll come with almost every piece of content and DLC except for one piece of DLC from Mass Effect 1 that might be permanently lost. The DLC is Pinnacle Station, an add-on for the first Mass Effect that was originally released on Xbox 360 and included a new map and 13 combat scenarios. Unfortunately, in an interview with Game Informer, Legendary Edition project director Mac Walters reveals that despite the developer's best attempts, the DLC's source code is corrupted beyond repair. Issues with this source code actually date back to when Mass Effect Trilogy was released on PlayStation 3. Where similar to the Legendary Edition now, Pinnacle Station wasn't included in the PS3 trilogy, and at the time, developers also pointed at source code corruption. Pinnacle Station was actually developed by an external studio, Demiurge, and you bet Bioware reached out to see if they could get the original files from the team to use instead of Bioware's files, but once Demiurge successfully found the source code, they also found that theirs was corrupt as well. While that is a huge bummer, there's still plenty of content to look forward to in the upcoming Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which drops May 14th. And that's Daily Fix. I'm Cindy Goodman, and I hope your day is as awesome as you are. Now that you're all caught up on the news, if you liked yesterday's GoldenEye remake story, check out our latest IGN Now, where we try our best to break down the madness around GoldenEye's legalities. It's more interesting. Legality sounds like a not interesting word, but it's very interesting. Download the IGN app on all your mobile devices. Subscribe to Daily Fix on Snapchat, and for all things everything else, IGN.com.